Hello and welcome to May's astrological and energy reading. Really glad to be here again this month to do this collective reading for everybody. I've had quite a few messages from you actually saying that last month particularly these readings felt like they were on a very personal level. So it does feel like there's a lot of shared emotions, shared situations going on at the moment. And I do think that was that strong energy coming through for March and April, where on a universal level, we all did seem to be going through very similar energies, things that were pushing and pulling against us. So just knowing now, having looked at the astrology, that May is a much calmer month. We're much more grounded and centered, but it is very, very transformative. So I'd like to start with the astrology. As always, I've made notes because I'm really terrible at remembering dates and the finer details of which planets are where and when. And then we'll go over and have a look at our oracle and tarot to give us some advice and suggestions for the month. So, as I say, we are definitely leaving behind these strong energies that have been affecting us for the last few months. This intensity is definitely diminishing throughout May. And so we're going to be welcoming in a lot of prosperity, joy and growth, but long-term growth as well. We see Saturn actually moving into Aries with Neptune, and that's an event that we haven't seen since 1703. Okay, so it's something we've never experienced. So yeah, definitely an element of the unexpected for everybody here. Now that's happening towards the end of the month. But that is the beginning of a shift where the 5 outer planets are all changing signs. And that is something that has never happened in human history. We've never experienced those 5 outer planets all change signs in quite a short period going between May and October this year. So it really is a time of change universally. We're seeing new leaders coming in, we're seeing new mindset, we're seeing a falling away of old systems that are outdated, and May is going to see the beginning of that. It's accelerating. It's a slow energy. Things are going to be falling away quite slowly, but it is definitely now beginning. We're going to start noticing that this month. So in terms of astrology, the month of May being one of the most important in the year. So let's start on the 2nd of May here. We have Venus in Aries, which is conjunct with Neptune. Now these planets, they're going to move our relationships forward. They're going to either bring them to a conclusion or they are going to bring them to more of a commitment. Okay, so just depending on where you are in relationships, the health of your relationships, they're going to be pushing to the next point, the next milestone in them. As I say, some relationships there may well fall away, but it is an unexpected energy, as we said. So just being aware that there might be unexpected energies around relationships and money. So this period here, we may find more money in our bank accounts or unexpected money coming to us, something we didn't see. Now, the 4th of May, we see Pluto begin to turn. So it stations before it goes retrograde. So this is a real time for breaking free. It's a real rebellious feeling. We're going to be feeling free-spirited and possibly a bit defiant here. We don't want to follow the rules. We don't want to follow authority. So there really is a pushback against things that don't suit us. So yeah, a time where you're going to speak up. You might actually feel a bit like saying no more than you usually would at this point. Now, by the 6th, we see Mercury meeting with Chiron, and this is bringing breakthroughs in conversation. It's like a collective truth being spoken. So expect our leaders or the media. There will be things coming up at this point. Now, there is real transformation in connections here. And again, it is revolving around those conversations. People are wanting to speak up, being pulled by that rebellious nature. You might want to talk about things that up until that point you haven't been ready to say. Now, again, we're talking about money here, and money being raised via investments or unusual sources. So if you have money invested or if you have something unusual that you put your money into, betting or something like that, it will come through in this unusual way. So yeah, again, it's unexpected things around money. Now, by the 12th, we have the full moon in Scorpio, which is about long-standing issues coming to a head. anything that's been ongoing, it's unresolved, particularly if it's been challenging or there's been conflict, this is a time when that's going to come to head. So you might be feeling a bit of mental pressure here, depending on where these signs sit in your charts. But try and let things go if you can. Avoid drama here, but it is an immense personal progress. So things are going to push you forward, come to a head, come to an end, and you're going to be pushed really to look at where you're headed long term. Now the sun goes into Gemini on the 20th, and this does thankfully lighten things up a little bit. Okay, so it's a much more airy energy as we step into the air sign here. It's very happy, it's very sociable, you're feeling full of vitality, a bit of a buzz about things, excited. So really use that energy and help spice things up a bit. If you're looking at new projects, if you're looking at new ideas and creativity, this is the beginning of a shift into this energy. And on the 22nd, we see Venus in Aries, and it trines with Mars in Leo. So we've got romance on the horizon. We've got things heating up and a time to make bold moves. So really go out there, really push yourself forward, strut yourself, have fun. It is about pushing forward in all areas. So business, particularly if it's creative business. So things like creative endeavors like dance, music, writing, poetry, art, photography, all of the creative arts. If you're thinking about starting up or pushing something forward to the next level, the 22nd of May is going to really help propel you in those areas. So anything that's unique opportunities really opening up here, but a highly creative time. So if you're going to start a new project, definitely around between the 20th of that full moon, 22nd, and then following into the end of the month. It's really going to push you, and it's going to push you hard. Now the 24th, we see Saturn moving into Aries, and this is this moment of huge shift. And it is a time to start building your empire. As I say, we've got this energy already coming through. So get those long-term plans sorted in your head. What do you want? Where are you seeing yourself? Now this energy will continue on and off until February next year, when it becomes permanently in our charts for a couple of years. So these empires, these new beginnings, these new leaderships, and these new way of being in business particularly, and relationships and connections, is going to be changing and altering as that old system is falling away. So it's really good news coming through. It's being seen and heard by the powers that be. So being noticed by the right people, and also seeing the right people being put into places of leadership and into connections really with people. So we have a much more healthier era of connection, leadership coming in. Now the 25th, we have Mercury slipping into Gemini, and we see our mental capacity speeding up. We're sharper, we're more sociable, and we find ourselves excelling through communication. So again, you can see this wave beginning to happen. We start with this full moon pushing us into this creative zone. We see this communication opening up, and we're being pushed into these new roles. So definitely use your brain power to assist you here. It's all about intelligence, thinking ahead, using your creativity, use your intuition, but definitely that logic and communication skills. The new moon in Gemini is on the 26th. So we're being told to get organized here. Plan, plan, plan. Okay. Keep an open mind, because anything that's outdated, or if you've been thinking too small, is going to get drawn away, and you're going to have a bit of a rethink. But this is the perfect time, because of this creative zone that we're in, to actually reimagine the path ahead, see it in another perspective. A good time to plan trips and sort of any big moves. If you're looking to move a job, move a home, physically move, travel, all those things around this time of this new moon, allow it to help you with the planning stage and get that first foot moving on the ladder. On the 29th, we see the sun and Mercury conjunct with Gemini. Okay, so epiphanies, downloads, ideas, inspirational moments. Okay, so again, we've got all this information coming in, and we're being really good at communicating it back out. We're planning. This whole timeline is set for us to really start imagining, planning, and then putting our plans into action. just through this last few weeks of May. It's very busy, but it's calm and it's grounded and it's settled. It feels quite light, even though we're actually going to be achieving a great deal. So the spotlight is going to be on you. Allow it to be. Really let it shine on you, okay? And be ready to step forward and show your excitement, show your enthusiasm, and let that ambition drive you forward here. Very important information is going to be coming through at this point, through these downloads. So it may be that anything that is outdated, or you maybe envisaged it being another way, allow these downloads to come in. Allow yourself to be open-minded of how things might change. You're going to start seeing things from a different perspective. So it's a really good time to actually just sit and think about how you thought things would be, and then allow yourself to see the other paths that might be opening up. So really exciting energies, as I say, through May. Big changes from around the 20th and 22nd, really kicking everything off right up to the end of the month, and then through into June. So let me know what's happening for you if you get a chance over the month, or if you have any questions, or you want anything else clarified, or any specific areas or dates that you want me to have a look at for you, and I'll be more than happy to do that. So let's go over now and have a look at our Oracle and Tarot messages, and just see what advice really Spirit have for us for coping with this month. Right, so let's have a look at the cards I've chosen then for the collective energies. So the first Oracle cards I'm using are called Earth Magic. So let's just ask for any collective energies. What do we need to know for May, please? Advice or suggestions. Ooh. Thank you. So we have ceremony, and we have new moon's promise. Okay, the next cards I'm using are called the language of the flowers. Okay, that way to come out straight away. We have the peony for health. And we have the fuchsia for true feelings. Next cards I'm using are called the Wild Child Oracle. Lovely, beautiful. We've got the air sign coming up there then for Gemini. We have the tree remembers. And we have bloom. Okay, now I think these are called, yeah, the Angel Guide Oracle. Really drawn to use these. Just that one, is it? That one. Okay, so we have the guardian angel. Okay, now the tarot I wanted to use today are called the Magical Forest, and they're slightly like Alice in Wonderland, I think, but let's have a look. Definitely want that one. Okay, got one jumped on the floor. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups, or in this case, the Knight of Chalices. We have the Ten of Cups. And we have the King of Pentacles. So I do apologise, one of my ring lights has died this evening, so I'm sitting in near dark. So I hope you can see clearly. Okay, so let's start then with that ceremony card. Okay, so here she is. So our ceremony card here, to me, it's a really clear indication to be trusting our intuition this month. Allow spirit to help guide you really, as well as your inner feelings, you know, your subconscious or your higher self, however that resonates with you. But take time to heal yourself as well. Here we've got, she's doing crystal work here. But yeah, definitely a time for yourself, introspection, healing, and trusting your intuition. Trust those gut feelings when you're making any decisions this month. Now I'm really drawn to the crystal and sound healing on this card. There's a drum here in the corner. So if you are, if there are types of healing that you enjoy, I would say if at all you're finding it tricky this month, or just to take time out to do some healing, and possibly, yeah, that tapping in, meditation, relaxation, just time for yourself really, and ways in which you're going to help that inner voice come through and be heard loud and clear. Okay, our next card is the New Moon card, which says promise. Okay, so for me here, we've got the clear side, well, it's not clear, but this is Venus in the background here. And obviously we've got Venus coming through quite strongly on both the 2nd and 22nd of the month. So a real time of love and connection, closeness, building bonds, looking at relationships. Now, I really get a sense of a time for new beginnings and renewal here, as well as your desires coming to fruition. So definitely manifesting and those things beginning to be seen. So yeah, like a promise coming good. So something that you have planted, like you've planted a seed and now you're starting to see it grow, starting to see the rewards of that. Definitely a good time for new projects I'm feeling here. And yeah, just definitely connections, relationships, and possibly putting something into action. There's movement between the dark and the light. So definitely some opposition or opposing energies within connections and relationships with the light and dark here, but definitely a need to put something in action. Don't just sit still, I'm being told, with this movement of the moon cycle. Okay. Now the peony, health, focus on all parts to make the whole. So our beautiful peony card. Now, there is obviously a strong message here to take care of our physical health this month, particularly if it is a busier energy. Although it is calmer, it is still one that's full of socializing, communicating, and yeah, that want to be out and about and doing, a bit of variety. So yeah, really taking care of our physical health. Now, the name peony actually comes from the Greek physician of the gods, and they turned him into a peony to protect him from harm from another deity, I believe. I think that's the myth that comes with that, or where the name comes from. So definitely a time of protecting yourself and your health. Okay, now also get with peonies, because they represent wealth, love, honor, good fortune, and that it is a time of prosperity that's coming through. But yeah, just protecting your energy in those times. Sometimes we forget, don't we, if everything feels good, and we're sort of bubbling along on the surface, that we forget to actually take time for ourselves, and check in on how we're doing. But some of you, if there's anybody who is looking into their health or have any health worries or issues, I'd say this is a month just to have them looked at, or just think about improvements that you can make yourself. So we've got the fuchsia, true feelings within you is all you need to know. Beautiful fuchsias. So the fuchsia, oh, the dogs come to join me. Joy, positivity, I'd say love, beauty and resilience, because fuchsias actually grow in various conditions, but they can thrive actually even when the conditions aren't very good, or if they're changing conditions. So another nod to the changing conditions we have this month, and that we will still be thriving despite any shifts in energy and change. Okay, so definitely another card of inner strength and deep connection here. So keep a positive outlook, and also living in the moment, I think, with this card, I'm being told. So live in the moment. But there's also a symbolism here of creativity again and boldness. So like with the astrology, talking about all those creative endeavors this month, really feel like tapping into that here with the fuchsia. It's bold, it's beautiful, it's symbolic of love and affection, and it's a little bit out there. So yeah, spicing it up again, like we said in the astrology. But also there, a message of trusting your true feelings, trust your intuition, your guidance. Within you is all you need to know. We do have the answers. It's sometimes just learning how to tap into that. And going back to that ceremony card, I think it is that time for introspection, sitting with yourself, you know, either in silence or with a guided meditation or something that's going to help you connect and get some just downloaded information, or just be able to realize where your gut's sitting. How is your intuition feeling? Where is it leading you right now? Right, then we move on to our air card, which feels very symbolic for the month, doesn't it? This air energy that's coming in. So our element of air and Gemini star sign is actually, it represents intelligence, communication, clarity, vitality, feeling social, like the social butterfly here. So really does feel very relevant this month this has come out. Now the butterflies represent transformation, change that has occurred already, and you're spreading your wings. You're starting to actually live the life that you've been working towards here. So there's definitely this transformation that's occurred, and we're now stepping into this period where there's a lot more freedom. Do get a sense of the ethereal nature here of air, because it feels very spiritual with the clouds and all the growth behind her and around her. Do feel like there is connection with nature here. Get outside. If you're feeling confused, we've got this cloud obviously covering and around the face. So if there's any confusion or anything that's not quite clear at the moment, definitely a time to get out in nature. Inner self again, inner world. She's got her eyes shut, or he or she have got their eyes shut. I feel like their whole chest is like the sky here. So yeah, definitely tapping into that spiritual realm, your inner world, your subconscious. Okay, our next card, the tree remembers. I think the tree remembers is actually an African proverb, and it's about those who inflict pain might forget, but those who are harmed always remember. That, I think that's what the proverb is about. Now to me this is sort of about age and wisdom with the tree. It's about strong roots, strong foundation. It's about interconnectedness. I'm definitely getting sort of reflection and personal lessons from this card as well. Shared experiences, we talked about that at the beginning, didn't we? Collective readings, the fact that we're all experiencing very similar situations, or we're mirroring people around us with energies that we're feeling or emotions that are coming up at the moment. I'm getting the phrase true feelings within you and all you need to know. Okay, so again, it's this sort of inner knowing, it's this inner world. Within you is all you need to know, like that fuchsia card. So definitely something that it's there, but you may not have brought awareness to it. I think the awareness is going to come this month. Okay, now I'm also getting that it might be connected to the past or your childhood. Definitely children, and some of these children are naked. I don't know what the relevance is because some aren't, but maybe there's some vulnerability around that time, or maybe it's a message for you to have to be a bit more vulnerable right now. Now I do feel like there's an observer of the past. We've got this fox I'm being told a sly fox, but not necessarily. Foxes are extremely observant. They're very good at waiting. So if you think about, they'll wait for the right opportunity. It's a waiting game, I'm being told. So you might just be having to pull back and wait on something. It might be linked to the past, but you're just waiting for clarity or waiting for some sort of wisdom around something at the moment. But definitely the idea of, yeah, the fox looking in at something, but waiting for the right opportunity to pounce, or the right opportunity, maybe because this is about forgetting and remembering, maybe it's the right moment to remember something, or the right moment to take action, like as I say, the fox pouncing. Okay. Our next card is the Bloom card. Now, I know what this card's meaning is, but I'm getting a really different sense from the card. So the Bloom card is all about introspection here, comfort in nature, definitely feeling something about birdsong, if anyone's drawn to birdsong particularly. But the card is to do with growth and tranquility. But actually what I'm sensing is, oh, the dog is now scratching against the table. I'm so sorry, she's moving my camera and everything. Thanks, Lottie. I really am getting that it's somebody having, like, either letting go of challenges, overcoming challenges. She doesn't look that happy to me. It's almost a pained expression, actually. So that might not be relevant for everybody, but I'm just picking that up from my intuition really of the card. So yeah, maybe there is something about getting back to yourself here, grounding and growth, but also maybe not seeing something that's right in front of you, or not wanting to see something that's right in front of your eyes. Okay, she's shut her eyes to something, but I think actually if she opened them, it would be something that helped her heal, because she's got the bird sitting on her finger. Now these birds, to me, it makes me think of spiritual birds that we see. So some people see robins, some people see crows, but there are often birds that are associated with spirits. When we've lost somebody, we often have a bird that will arrive. So I am thinking that you definitely have a spirit guide or a strong spirit presence around you that you might be sensing. So yeah, try and keep your eyes open. Try and see what there is right in front of you, because actually it is going to bring this growth, and it will bring that tranquility, even if that's not the emotion that you're feeling right now. But there is a period where you will blossom and you will bloom. But I do feel that there is something you need to see first, that's going to help that movement and that transition. Now, linked with that, actually, in terms of me saying about spiritual help, is the guardian angel. Now, as the card sounds, it is about your guardian angels, your spirit team. It's about the energies that are around you, both physically and spiritually. So you might have good friends, good family members, connections that are assisting you. But if you're in times of struggle or overwhelm, it really is a card to remind you to ask for help from spirit, as well as those people around you. And your guardian angel really is somebody that stands with you to help you feel safe. So if there is a period where you don't feel safe, you don't feel grounded and protected, which actually is what the tree represents with its roots. Trees often show us that we're grounded and protected. They're symbolic of home, and home is a place or a feeling where we are completely secure, we feel protected, we feel comforted, and we're happy within ourselves, like our inner world is calm and safe and tranquil and centered. So we're completely balanced. So if there's a period this month where you don't feel that, then call in anybody that you need help from. As I say, that can be friends and family members, or it can be your spirit team. Okay, so ask for help. And also I feel like they're going to help guide you to their messages. So if you're seeing signs and synchronicities, those angel numbers, feathers, whatever it is that you see, you know, some people will see birds, as I said, they might see ladybirds or coins or hearts, whatever it is, just keep an eye out for them, because I think that's reassurance, and I think they're leading you to different messages. Sometimes it's really hard when we're feeling overwhelmed or we're struggling to totally trust in the intuition that we're getting and any messages that are being downloaded. Now, I know at the end of the month, we talked about that in the astrology, that these really strong downloads are coming, these ideas, these spiritual messages. So really try and be open to those things, but particularly if you're struggling, I feel like spirit are really strongly coming through in this particular reading for anyone who's going through a bit of hardship at the moment, or that these last few months, those major energies, that strong chaotic energies that have been pushing us to change through March and April, if we're being sort of left with the tail end of that, or the consequences of those months, and we're finding it quite tricky, then please do just tap into spirit or your inner self, taking that time out to meditate and rest and recuperate, however that works for you. Some people that will just be a nice bath, other people it'll be crystal work, sound work, maybe a workshop, maybe some soul healing, or any sort of treatment that feels right to you, a Reiki or an energy healing. Okay, now let's move on finally to the tarot. The first tarot card we had was the Knight of Cups, or the Knight of Chalices. Here's our little tiny bunny riding a cat. Sorry, these are very obscure, but I was definitely drawn to use these. I think this is that unexpected energy that's coming through. Now, the Knight of Cups is very creative, full of inspiration, can be a bit of a romantic idealist. So they might come through with these beautiful, whimsical ideas, but really is a time to embrace creativity, just like our astrology is saying. It's coming through extremely strongly here. So embrace that creativity, as I say. Use your charm and diplomacy with situations. It is a time of trying to calm our emotions, trying to keep our emotions balanced, because they might be a little bit up and down. It might feel like we're being run away with a little bit. But yeah, definitely I guess it's intense emotional experiences coming through, both good and bad. We're tapping into our creative side, and when we're feeling creative, that does also bring up emotions with it, doesn't it? Because some of the greatest masterpieces, some of the most beautiful music that you can hear is emotive. It's why it's so astounding, because it stirs something in us emotionally. So just be prepared that all this creativity is going to create intense emotions, both good and bad. Not, I don't mean bad emotions, but I just mean emotions which might be more challenging to deal with, but they're just releasing. And all of those things are about healing and growth and change. And as I've said all along, this isn't extremely fast paced. It doesn't feel chaotic. It's coming through. It's quite methodical. It's quite slow changing. And it's sort of like a slow wave that undulates through the month. Okay, similar energies coming, going, coming and going. So we're sort of this ebb and flow. We're not having to deal with everything completely straight away, head on. It is going to ebb and flow. It will be coming to this head at the end of the month, where we have a lot more excitement and lifted energy, with all these downloads and new ideas and plans for the future. So our King of Pentacles, which is exactly that energy, really. He is Mr. Methodical. He is slow and steady, and he does win the race. So the King here is definitely someone who he sort of symbolizes security. He symbolizes the tree, actually. He's deep rooted. He was slow growing. He has branched out. He's done all the hard work, but has secured his future now. He planned and he grew, and now is reaping his rewards. So financial security, emotional security, and he is, yes, I don't want to say boring, because that's the wrong words, but it's sort of, you can rely, this is someone you rely on. It's a reliable energy. It is stable. Yeah, it's secure. I don't know how else to put that. Boring is completely the wrong word. It's definitely reliable, steady. It's very safe. It's a lovely, safe energy. So after all the overwhelm for the first few months through the year, this is a really lovely energy to then be in and feel that I am, yes, it might not happen overnight, but it's going to come. And I know that each step I'm taking, I'm protected, I'm safe, I'm heading in the right direction, and I will end up reaching my goal. But in a very, it's a deserved way, because it's hard work after reward. So you're working hard towards something, but you reap what you sow. Sorry, that was the most awful explanation I think I've ever given for the King of Pentacles. The final card is the Ten of Chalices, or the Ten of Cups. Now, the Ten of Cups to me, and you know, anyone who's had personal readings with me will hear this all the time, is our happy ever after card, or one of the happy ever after cards. So the Ten of Cups is when you literally, everything comes together. So this is sort of a reassurance and advice that all of our planning that we do at the end of May will ensure the future that we desire, the future we dream of. This is like the end of the fairy story. We've got, you know, happy families, happy homes, new horizons, and all our cups are overflowing. Now, the cups are symbolic of our emotions, so definitely a sense that we're feeling full up emotionally. We feel that our future is secure, just like the King of Pentacles there. Very secure. Now, the King of Pentacles is also to do with material things, things you can touch and hold and feel and sense, whereas the Cups is also with our emotions. So it's a balancing, really, these two cards of our inner and outer worlds. And that's where we're headed for the end of May, going into June, and also longer term into our future here, because we have the 10, which is about completion. So this sort of is showing us what our future is looking like. So a very, very happy card to end the reading on, knowing that all this introspection, all this taking care of ourselves, our health, our connections, and definitely our own emotions here, it's all leading us somewhere. There is financial stability, there is a happy home, a happy family, and a happy inner world. But there is going to be periods this month where we just really need to work on it and give the time to ourselves to do that in quite a slow and methodical way. Be logical with it. Oh, I need to take time out. You know, don't be afraid through the month. You're going to have these periods where you feel much more bold and you're able to speak out. And there will be periods then where you feel lifted and light, and you know you're going to go out and grab the world with both hands. So being bold and assertive, but without being aggressive. It's a very light energy. It's using our humor, our communication skills, and just going for it, allowing ourselves to really shine. The spotlight's going to be on us when we have that Sun and Mercury going into Leo. So it's really going to push you to want to be much more forward than possibly you have been so far this year. And possibly in your life. You know, these are life-changing periods now where we're stepping out of our comfort zone that we may have been in for a very, very long time. And we have that ability to want to step into something new, something creative. And really it does sort of start around the 20th, as I said, in the astrology, and it is leading through this reading. But there's this earlier period of really looking at our inner world, and what really we need to make this all connect together for ourselves, as well as those connections outside of us. So beautiful energy, very different energy, I would say, to what we've had so far. And again, all these different aspects will affect everybody differently, depending on which of these planetary alignments you have in your chart and where they are. So anyone like myself, I'm a Gemini, so that it's likely that these emotions and these energies are going to affect me quite a lot this month. But if you're a star sign where you don't feel like you're coming through in these energies very much, you might not sense them at all. But they are collective energies, so they will be affecting us all in different ways, in different intensities. Okay, so just being aware of them, and also realizing that all energy flows. So this is always open to interpretation, to change, and just looking at it from the situations that you are being presented with, and your own personality, or your own beautiful nuances and uniqueness. So yes, let me know how you navigate things. If there are any questions or advice that you want further information on from the reading, And I look forward to hearing from you if you want to get in touch throughout May, just to let me know how you're getting on. So take good care. Thank you as always for supporting our beautiful membership, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Take care now. Bye.